Hello, my friends. This is Pernilla with another episode on my YouTube channel. So, the pink elephant has turned blue and red, and nobody can see it for what it is. So, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. The blue and red elephant. Isn't that a great metaphor? If you really get it, you'll laugh. Because that is what is going on in the world. Not the whole world, but definitely here in the US. The truth is that there are no Democrats and there are no Republicans. What do you think of that? Can you accept that? If you're out swimming in the ocean and let's say there's a shark coming after you, you're swimming very fast, and then there's a boat coming after you to rescue you. Do you care what political side they're on? You're a human being swimming. You could be killed by a shark. And here is another human being enjoying their vacation, maybe in a boat, and they just happen to want to rescue you. Do you really think they care what color of the scene you're at? We have to take it down to what is actually here. We cannot put labels on each other. We do it all the time, not just the red and blue labels, left, right labels. It's insanity, and it only creates more polarity and division. And I think I'm really trying to break through with my point here, because that's what I've been talking about so much. I see these conversations going on, and sometimes I'm right there as if I'm part of the conversation, but I'm just kind of like, I'm just observing. I'm just going inside, allowing the presence to do whatever it knows what to do. I know I don't have to say anything, because when people have taken a very strong position of a side, like a worldview, you cannot reach them. I've been in situations where recently, actually, with some friends, and they're very, very strong in their belief. It doesn't matter what I say, they cannot hear me. They cannot go outside of that worldview, just like a tiny drop, to see it from a different angle, to see it from a wider perspective, to have a whole new vista about what is actually going on when this elephant in the room is seen for what it is. And if I can share with you what I see from outside, because I'm neither blue nor red or maroon or anything, I'm presence. I am an expression of the divine. Of course, I have opinions and experiences and, views, but they're not like connected to an emotional attachment that makes me see a blue and a red elephant in the room. We can all get beyond that. And I really hope we do, because if we don't, the red and the blue elephant is it's a program that's trying to program everybody to take a side and to either be blue or red and then make the other color wrong. Where is that going to go? Is that going to create peace? I know many people, I'm not saying it's you specifically, but many people believe that, well, if the red gets in, then we'll be fine and everything will go smoothly. And then there's equally those who are blue, or believe they're blue, they're really not. They believe if this person comes in, then everything will be fine and we will just have I probably shouldn't say we'll have peace on earth because I don't think anybody believes that. But I know that that is what we all want. The blue and the red elephant is not creating peace. The blue and the red elephant is pulling your attention into polarity. And that's why you are so identified with one or the other side. And when we get so identified with being really anything in this dimension, we totally lose track of what is true, of who we are, and of what is actually happening around us. Now, if I may remind us all that the kingdom of heaven is spread all over the earth, and man cannot see it. Why can men not see it? Oh my God, I've said this so many times here, but why can men not see it in today's episode? Because they're looking at this blue and red colored elephant and they identify with one of the colors very strongly and they're putting all their energy into it. And they miss what's here. And it's everywhere. And when you stop focusing on that program that we are all being programmed to accept, when we say no, thank you, and when I say no, thank you, I mean say no, thank you to blue and red. Let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go. I feel strongly about this. And then see what's here. Then pay attention to everything around you. And it could be people. Maybe the red person that you were judging, you realize, oh my God, this person just lost their child and is suffering and is trying to find safety. And the only thing they can think about is, this or that color. But the person is suffering, the person is struggling, is in deep grief. That's what we can start seeing if we take off the blue and the red glasses. Now, I'm not saying that that is the truth either, but it is a step away from this polarization. And then we can connect with our hearts. And then we can ask this person, how can I support you? What do you need? I'm so sorry you're going through this. It doesn't matter what color you think they are because they are not. They may have red blood in their veins, or maybe blue if they're royal, but that's not the point. They are just like you and I. We've all had our traumas, our challenges that have created a worldview that is happening in here in our mind. And this worldview is projected out. Now, the worldview also comes from the programming. And that is what is being projected out into the world as an elephant, a blue and red elephant. Again, I don't want to go too deep into how the programming is happening. That could be, I mean, that's huge, and that is hard for the mind to understand in the beginning because the mind is the programming. So there's no real separation between it. It's like the same thing. So that's all we can see and identify with because that's all that's available because our mind is fully programmed for division, for duality. Remember, this is a world of duality. The 3D is a world of duality. And that's why that's all we can see. And red and blue is like a very, very juicy duality. Let it go. Can you let it go? If you cannot let it go, no worries. Most people can't because the the emotional attachment is so strong that that overrides their their ability to choose differently, to see things differently. This is all they know, and it's like this, it comes right up. When I was talking to a friend the other day, and this subject kind of came up, and I was trying to kind of dance around it because I knew that the reaction would be like arguing. It didn't, but the energy, this person even says, there's this energy that wants to argue with you. I said, fine, I don't argue. So, if you want to argue, there you won't get much from me. But this person didn't want to argue, but had a hard time. I could just feel that it was just working its way in there. So that's what's happening to most people. When I hear these discussions and when I just kind of, just listening and observing, and I can see that this arguing energy is so strong. So I really understand that it's not just something you say, okay, I'm going to drop it. You need to go and do some deeper work and really investigate that part of you that wants to argue. Because when we argue, we want to be right, right? That's why we argue. It's like, oh, let me tell you what I think about this. And so it's hard to let go of that. It's a strong, strong identity, and it's a wrong identity. It's like we're or misidentified with something that we can't separate from. That's why it's like it's so close. There's no gap in there. So when you feel that energy that wants to argue and wants to be right, take a breath. Take a breath into that part that wants to be right. Just allow it. See, now you're not in it. Now you're just out here and you're just breathing into it. So there's you breathing into it, right? So it's not like you're not fully identified. Take another deep breath, just like, hello, hello. I feel that you really want to argue. Feel that you really want to be right, prove your point. Just feel that. It's beautiful to just let it move through. This is part of the programming that we all have taken in and accepted for a long time. So by stepping out of it and just taking a breath or two or three or five, so you can just see it. It's like, wow, you just, and you can just observe it. It's like, I am now going to breathe into this. That means I'm out here observing it. This is where change can take place. If there is a huge, huge charge in it, which there is for most people, I would suggest that you reach out for support. And if you would like to uncover or explore that with me, in the description, you can find a link to connect with me. If you already have somebody to explore it with, or if you feel capable to do it on your own, it doesn't matter. As long as we take this as a serious exploration to get out of the programming. When you get out of the programming, you observe the world and you don't get pulled in. It's like you're in the world, but not of it. And you may have heard that expression in the Bible. We can all be in the world, but not of it, because that is so much more true than being of the world and fully identified with it and only seeing a red and blue elephant or whatever color you are identifying with. There might be other things. I know rainbow colors is also huge, and there's a huge identification with that, to the point, where many people want to fight to prove something. You see, it's that energy. The truth is, we can be whatever we are. What else is there to be? And if we allow each other to be who and what we are, and allowing others to be different, and allowing others to be who and what they are without making each other wrong, we are stepping out of the matrix with the speed of light, because that is what keeps sucking us in, right? This energy of emotional attachment and emotional identification. So please take a moment. If this resonates with you, it may not. You may already be of the world. No, in the world, but not of the world. Maybe you're already living that, and I celebrate you, because if that's true for you, then you are naturally an outlet, a portal for the kingdom of heaven that is spread all over the earth. Then you can sense it in here, and then you're just naturally opening up for that to come in and raise the frequencies for everybody else. And every time one of us takes our hands off that grip, and right now the grip of red and blue, it's very, very high up in the air right now because of the election next week. So right now, if you have any kind of attachment to one of the other, see if you can just not do it. Do your best, or reach out, whatever works for you, if you want to get out of that programming. It is just a programming. It has nothing to do with you or me or anybody else.